Hello, my name is Katie Smith. I teach 7th grade math at Mount Vernon Middle School. Today I am going to explain why mobile learning is the direction that school districts need to go to transition into the 21st century. Why should we implement mobile learning? Number one, it's a really exciting and new way to teach and to learn. Students always have their smart devices, their phones, their iPads, their tablets, their Nooks. They have all of these devices on them all the time, and when they come to class or they come to school, they're told to power down. You're not allowed to have your cell phones on during the day. You're not allowed to have them on you. Sometimes they're not even allowed to bring them to class. They have to leave them in their backpack or in their locker. So we've asked students to power down, but they love being on their devices. So this is a way for students to use their technology that they love so much and learn with it. Number two, mobile learning makes collaboration more effective and easier. We always want to do group work as teachers. We love putting kids together, listening to what they have to say, what ideas they come up with solving real-world problems and things like that. We love hearing the discussions. But you'll always have that group that would rather talk about going to the mall, going to wherever, and talking about the things they have instead of discussing or collaborating effectively about the information you want them to discuss. This would get rid of all of that off-task conversation. They would have discussion forums where you could ask a question or give them a few problems, and then they could post on the discussion forum and ask questions and collaborate and work together, and even cross-collaborate where they could actually ask somebody in another class that isn't in the classroom with them. They could ask somebody else. So it would just really broaden the collaboration spectrum. Number three, it increases student participation and engagement. We also have those students that like to sit in the back of the classroom, put their hood over their head, put their head on their desk, and not participate, and really would rather be anywhere else. This takes that away. You can easily see on your smart device who's participating and who's not, because not everybody's talking. So you can bring those students that aren't posting and get them back on track faster. Number four, it increases one-on-one time between students and teachers. I'm not talking face-to-face one-on-one time, but if a student has a question and doesn't want to raise their hand and bring a lot of attention to them, they could post online, in the discussion forum, and if a student didn't respond to their question, you could see it and respond to that student immediately, and he or she would get the answer that they need. Number five, students have more technology at their fingertips, and I touched on this a little bit earlier. We need to embrace these tools within the classroom. We need to really get them involved. Number six, there will be no more back of the classroom seating. Everyone will be in the front row. Number seven, this will better prepare them for being out in the workforce, and it will make them ready to become digital citizens. We'll be able to teach them proper online skills to where they won't, when they're out in the real world, they won't make those mistakes and do permanent damage or have dangers because they weren't taught how to use them properly. Who are the stakeholders? I would say anyone in the community that you work for could be a stakeholder. Administrators, parents, teachers, students, and excited community members, the booster club, PTO, anybody that really wants to be involved could be involved. We could even take the students and student council and get them involved so that everyone's working together to reach the goals. How to get teachers on board. This is always a big question when it comes to changing the environment of a school. Okay, we've got these teachers that have been doing pretty good with what they're already doing. How do we get them to change? One way is to take educators from mobile learning districts, people that have already implemented this idea, and have them come to the school or Skype with us, and we could have a discussion about their success in the classroom. We could do the same thing with student presentations. Enthusiastic students that really enjoy being at a mobile school could either come to the school or have the teacher that's coming have the presentation and show it, just to tell about all the success. What about the community? Well, we really need to get the community involved. Schedule meetings with the community, let them know your thoughts, let them know what's going on, how things will go, how it will look. Really get them involved. Have student council put together a slideshow of them interviewing other students in the building about their thoughts of going mobile in the school. This could be shown in the meetings with the community so that they see their students excited about the possibility of having a mobile learning school. Student excitement is always a huge selling point. These kids are excited about learning. They're excited about the direction we're going. Let's get this done. How would we get started? Well, one thing that we need to do is get a pilot group assigned. 7th grade classroom was my idea for that. If it showed to be successful, it could easily be district-wide. We could take the idea and run with it all the way from 1st grade, kindergarten maybe, but 1st grade all the way up to seniors. Just get them online, get them ready for technology use. I chose 7th graders because they are just starting to come into their own. They're starting to get comfortable in their own skin. They're starting to form better opinions. 6th graders are coming into the middle school and they're a little shy. They're a little hesitant to get involved because they're the new guys. And then you've got the 8th graders who some of them might be a little bit more hesitant to change and a little bit more resistance with change because they're getting ready to go into high school and they're kind of done with middle school. They're ready to move on. So the 7th graders would be a good focus group. They're able to take more risks. They really like to take more risks. They can't help but want to be curious and opinionated, and if you're asking them a bunch of questions about how they like something, they'll give you all you need to know. Also, I teach 7th grade and would be more than happy to do the piloting myself. What opportunities are available? Differentiation will be much more effective. A student that is behind his or her peers is going to be hesitant to admit that in front of the entire class. But online, he can collaborate with his peers at his own pace and try to get caught up with the rest of his peers. Gifted students or above average students, maybe they're not totally in the gifted class, but they're high up, who just get it. They don't need to hear you lecture for 45, 80, 90 minutes, whatever you have. They don't need that. They just need a flash in the pan and they've got it. Could collaborate and push themselves ahead. They'd see what was going on. They'd understand it and kind of move along and not wait for everybody else to understand it when they're ready to move on. Everything would be self-paced, each individual student, and the teacher could step in and help when needed, alternating who to teach to advance the entire classroom. Student engagement, classroom discussions will be more meaningful to students. Maybe you give them an assignment the night before and you monitor all their discussions, you get a few questions through it, you collaborate back with them, and then the next day you discuss all the ideas and all of the concepts that were discussed the night before. You deepen those understandings, you deepen the meaning, you connect them to real world situations. Be a wonderful connection. And then, of course, the more one-on-one instruction time between teachers and students. You don't stop teaching when you leave at 3 o'clock. You have a device that can connect you to your students every minute of every day. And if you're like me, you wish that you could go into every student's house and help them with their math homework every night and make sure they understand it. But you can't do it, and this makes it a little bit more possible. If they have questions, they can send you a text, they can send you a message on the forum and get their questions answered before the next day so that they can be a part of the discussion in class, which is huge. Other opportunities, teachers, we always want more professional development opportunities. We always want to be able to ask the questions that we're not sure how to get answers. So this would definitely open that avenue up. Students will learn by doing, not listening. There are so many times where a kid just wants you to stop talking and just let them do it. It will help them so much more to get it and understand it and work with it and get their hands dirty with the concepts. Students will have input in their education. What a great opportunity for these kids to actually come into the school, give their opinions to the higher ends of the school, and let them know this is how I learn best. Be a great opportunity for them. And then students will use their devices in the classroom time to deepen the understanding of each lesson. All right, I know what you're thinking. How could this possibly work? Not every kid has smart devices. I realize that, but most students in the middle school that I teach at already have smart devices. So we would implement or put in place the BYOD approach, which is bring your own device to school. Those who don't have one, this is a great opportunity to get the community connected to the school, get them involved. Run a phone drive. I think this is a great idea. Do a phone drive for people to donate their old smart devices to the school. You know there's people out there that just bought an iPhone 5 or iPhone 6. I don't know what number they're on yet, but they've got the newest and best thing that's out there right now, and their iPhone 4 is sitting on their desk not being used anymore. They could donate that to the school and help a kid that can't get something like that have one in order to learn more efficiently. It's a great connection for community. Another way, once we've done the phone drive, if we still need phones for the school, we could work with banks and other businesses and see what kind of partnership we could build with that company or bank to get those other devices in our hands. I know there are companies out there who will and are willing to take that on and help us to really do that. So we really need to get them involved as well. What skills would we need to have to do this? Well, some professional development ideas. We'd have to figure out how to develop online courses. We need to know how to do that so that we have a place for these things to occur. Also, activating drop boxes in that online course so that students can turn in projects, turn in assignments, all online. Usage of apps. Some teachers still are just getting the hang of email, and we need to make sure that they understand how to download and use apps effectively in their classroom. Set up discussion forums, and then data collection for class achievement. these would be nice, clean, easy to read charts instead of the hand-drawn charts.